Good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Martin. A plan to tighten security along America's border with Mexico got bipartisan support in Congress today. After weeks of negotiations, Senate lawmakers agreed to amend a bill to include enhanced border security measures in exchange for immigration reform. George Thomas has the details of the plan in tonight's top story.
For Republican lawmakers, increased security was the deal breaker in supporting a Senate immigration bill.
We don't have control of our southwestern border.
Some of the key provisions in the legislation include a so-called surge, placing 20,000 new federal agents along America's southern border, adding 700 more miles of fence along the U.S.-Mexico border, and buying new surveillance drones to track illegal border crossing, all at a price tag of some $30 billion over a decade. For Democratic lawmakers, creating a pathway for undocumented immigrants to get U.S. citizenship is key.
These 11 million people play a crucial role in our economy and a vital role in our communities. These 11 million people need a pathway to get right with the law.
Under the compromise, immigrants living in the U.S. illegally would be put on a pathway to citizenship as the added security is implemented. But green cards would not be handed out until the work is complete. The so-called Gang of 8 senators involved in the negotiations are hoping the new security measures will persuade skeptical Republican lawmakers to pass the bill before it heads to the House. Speaker of the House John Boehner said this week it will take some bipartisanship for the Senate immigration bill to pass.
Any immigration reform bill that is going to go into law ought to have a majority of both parties support if we're really serious about making that happen.
George Thomas, CBN News.
For more on immigration reform, we turn now to Alvaro Vargas Llosa. He's a senior fellow at the Independent Institute and author of the book Global Crossings. Alvaro, is this measure from the Gang of 8 a true bipartisan effort?
Good evening. Well, it's a compromise. It's probably the only way that you can pass the bill at this point. However, I would point out that there was a lot of border security in the bill as it was. The whole first section of the bill is all about border security. It throws a lot of money in there. It creates a new agency. It places a condition, a very strong condition, linked to border security for people who will eventually transit from temporary residence to permanent residence. In fact, the condition is a 90% rate of success in terms of apprehensions at the border. And yet they thought that was not enough. So they had to go down this path, I guess, in order to get the support that they need for the whole bill.
Well, the Congressional Budget Office says immigration reform will actually boost the economy and lower the federal deficit. Do you agree?
Oh, totally. Yeah, no question about it. I mean, our research indicates that in the worst case scenario, illegal immigrants right now contribute about $36 billion a year to the economy. If they became legal, they would contribute about $100 billion a year. Over a decade, that's almost $1 trillion. So clearly, that's going to be a huge boost to the economy. And in terms of how much they will contribute, of course, you would have to take into account not only how much they personally would contribute in terms of taxes, but also indirectly. In other words, by boosting productivity across the economy, they will generate a lot more revenue for the government. Clearly, there's a lot to be gained from this.
Republicans pushed hard for border security. Why is that such an important aspect of the immigration measure?
I think it's become ideological in part. I think it has to do with the dynamics within the Republican Party. But again, it's important to understand there's already a lot of effort on that front. President Obama spent about $18 billion last year. Since the 1980s, there's been a sustained effort to beef up border security. Inadequate though it may, of course, seem to many people still, that has been going on. And the bill is very, very strong on that. So again, I think it's important to understand that we cannot simply seal off all the borders completely in this day and age. That's simply not possible. If we get the right policy, we're going to get a lot of benefit not only on the economy and culture, but also in terms of border security, because people will be coming in through the legal channels. So there'll be a lot less pressure on the whole apparatus linked to border security.
All right. Alvaro Vargas Llosa, thanks for your insights.
Thank you.